Hey guys, how are we? Well, another interesting day here, and yeah, we're just hoping that this property settles next week. So we hear word that notaries will be heading back to the office as of next week. That means that we can pretty much settle our property and get off to Thailand probably by around the 2nd or 3rd of May. So, and hopefully by that stage a lot of the restrictions or mandates will be removed. We did see a lot of restrictions removed yesterday. We did see Australia lift a lot of their travel exemption requirements. Actually, to get back into Australia could be difficult, so it really depends on the state or territory that you're traveling back into, and whether or not that you can basically get a spot there. The other thing is if you are asked to show a vaccination certificate when you're leaving Australia, you could be in trouble, but I think the chances of that are pretty slim. But you know, don't quote me on that. That's a risk that you're going to have to take if that's what you decide to do. So yeah, so that's where things are at there. We're actually looking forward to getting out. So we did see Greece yesterday announce that they were going to remove all COVID restrictions and mandates come the 2nd of May. So it seems to be a fairly common procedure here and around the world. Particularly now that we're getting into the European summer, you're going to see a lot of these barriers to entry. And that's what I was saying weeks ago, is that barrier to entry is one of the biggest inhibitors to economic growth. And they're going to try and remove as many as they can, particularly coming into the European summer. Now, in regards to Europe, I think getting out of Europe could actually be quite a good option at this point in time. We did see things escalate yesterday in regards to Russia, Ukraine, with the Ukrainians sinking a huge Russian ship. I think it was 600 meters long or something. So big problems there. This is just going to escalate. And I'm just waiting to wake up one morning and see that things have really gone south, and that's kind of what I'm expecting. I think, as I said to you before in the past, my assumption is that this is going to turn out to be a regional conflict. This is not just going to be Russia, Ukraine. This is going to be possibly all of Europe caught up into this. So we're pretty keen to get out of here. On another note, I've been talking to someone who's buying property here in Greece. There's a couple of you buying properties here in Greece at the moment. And, you know, someone was sort of saying to me, look, what's the cost per square metre at this particular location? And I said, oh, it's going to be probably around 900 euros per square metre, just depending on whether or not it's renovated. Well, I was actually wrong. I went and spoke to a real estate agent yesterday. It's gone up to $1,500 per square metre. And that is actually a bit of a shock for me, because 12 months ago that was only around maybe 900. 3 years ago, probably about 500 to 600. So prices here in Greece are really starting to take off, as they are around the rest of the world too. And one of the reasons for that, I did hear a US radio station last night talk about, you know, not really understanding why there was such a demand for property, even commercial or residential. And you know, they were seeing investors, teams of investors, going in and snapping up properties. The reason for that is because you've got inflation at the moment. If you've got money in the bank, you know, the ECB, I think at the moment is 0.25% negative interest rate. So if you put money into, you know, European bonds or something like that, you're going to lose money. So actually having a situation where you hold physical assets is actually very beneficial at this point in time. And I think that's what you're seeing at the moment, is a lot of people trying to get into physical assets. That's also going to put pressure on gold and silver. And just watch this space, particularly as you see the US currency start to depreciate, and also you see inflation start to take hold. That's because of that depreciation. They're just printing too much money. And there's a lot of US currency heading back into the US economy. That's called the Triffum effect. And basically, when you use a domestic currency as an international trading currency, you have to print more and more money to be able to provide for the rest of the world to trade in, right? If you've got a strong global economy that's expanding, then you'll be fine. But if you've got a contracting global economy with less demand for US currency, then you're going to see real problems. And I think that's what we're seeing at the moment in the US. It's just adding to their economic and financial woes. Inflation, they say, is officially around 7.6%. But if you look at, say, shadow stats or something like that, it's up around 18%, if not more. So it really depends on where you look, I suppose, and what sort of figures you're looking at. I think, as I've pointed out before, there's a lot of interesting accounting going on. So I would not be surprised if you saw inflation really start to run away. So I suppose the reason why you're seeing such demand for residential property at the moment is people just trying to get into physical assets. They want to get away from stocks and bonds and anything that's exposed to currency valuations. So I suppose at the end of the day, getting out of those sort of things, getting to physical assets like property, gold and silver is always going to be beneficial. But how that sort of tracks for you, I mean, it's putting a lot of pressure on property prices. I know here in Greece, as I said, price per square metre has actually gone up. And you're going to see that continue to go up over time. And certainly speaking to someone the other day from a large investment firm, and they agreed with me that there's going to be a significant financial shock sometime later this year, if not next year. At some point there's going to be a major correction. So a lot of people are trying to get out of institutional investment, SMVs and derivatives and all sorts of other investments, just to try and get into physical assets. And that's why you're seeing such demand for properties at the moment. That is only going to increase. So there may be some really good opportunities up ahead if you're looking to invest. Particularly in foreign properties. I mean, that's really the gold mine, is actually exposing yourself to properties outside of your local market. The big problem you have with that is actually managing those properties. But there may be a fairly good solution coming up, and I'll share that with you in the next couple of weeks. And I think it's going to be a really, really good opportunity. So, so just be mindful of that. Stay tuned, and I'll share a bit more when I know how things are going to go with it. So, but yeah, certainly lots of opportunity over here. I'm going to shoot some videos with a local realtor in the next week or so before we fly out, and show you some of the property investment opportunities over here. And just show you what property is actually like and what it's costing at the moment. But as I said, there's a lot of demand for Greek properties at the moment, or property in general globally. But particularly here in Greece, because it is such a undervalued property market. So there are some really good opportunities, but they're starting to, the opportunities are starting to dry up. And so anyway, so just stay tuned for that. We're heading to Thailand as well, as I said, in a couple of weeks. And so there's some stuff that we're going to show you over there as well. So yeah, heaps of opportunity around the world. It's just a matter of if that's something that really appeals to you. And as I said, it could fit into your PT 5 Flags plan, your Perpetual Traveller 5 Flags plan, really well. So, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll keep you up to date. As I said, keep an eye on what's happening in Eastern Europe. I'm completely not taking sides on this. I just think it's a tragedy that young families get caught up in this, and everyday people get caught up in war, and that's the real tragedy. But just keep an eye on this, because I think it will actually turn into a regional conflict. So, but yeah, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, do that. And also go to our Facebook page or Facebook group called Overseas Exiles, and join the discussion over there. And there's people posting stuff up there all the time, which is good. And yeah, so really good opportunities to see what's happening and what strategies other people are using. And I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you guys in Thailand in a couple of weeks. So and I've met a few guys over here in the last couple of weeks actually, so that's been really good too. So all right, guys, we'll chat with you soon, and we'll post some more articles on overseasexiles.com, overseasexile.com, I think it is. So we're probably going to change things up again in the next couple of weeks, but yeah. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you soon.